Boom. Recording in progress. It is 3:06 on April 6th, 2025. What's up, everyone? Welcome. It's great to see all the faces here. It's great to be with you guys. I know I am looking forward to today's call. We do have a guest that will be joining us shortly. Um, so that's going to be a lot of fun to hear from Ibrahim. He's coming in. Some of you guys have already donated shoes we're going to be sending to Africa. Some of you guys have some that you're going to be donating. So he's going to be joining shortly. Let's see. Start it off. We'll have you guys unmute and answer the question. But what I want you to do is let's see. You can just unmute and shout out your answer. First person to unmute. If you didn't know, the most recent Naismith Player of the Year was Cooper Flagg. He was just named Naismith Player of the Year. Who was the last freshman to be named National Freshman? That was a freshman named National Player of the Year.
Zion?
Boom. Who was that? That Jack?
Yeah, me.
Jack. Jack starts it off. Okay, Jack, you are correct. It was Zion Williamson. Who was the one before that? Who can tell me the one before that? I know Coach Lunt knows this one. Nobody else knows who was before Zion. Freshman National Player of the Year. It's only happened 4 times. Cooper Flagg, Zion Williamson in 2019. Anthony Davis. If you guys haven't heard Coach Lunt's story about Anthony Davis and Calipari, you guys haven't been around long enough because this is a great story. Coach, you want to tell us about the Calipari recruiting Davis story?
Sure. So, if you all know, Anthony Davis out of high school was the #1 recruit in the country, um, being recruited by every school. And Calipari had a home visit with Anthony Davis, and in that home visit, told Anthony Davis that he says that Kentucky's not for everyone, and I'm not sure if you're going to play as a freshman. You got to come in, you got to earn everything. And Anthony Davis was sitting at his table with his family, and that was the first coach that walked into his house and was very blunt about everything, saying, "Hey, this isn't for everyone, and you got to earn everything." And Anthony Davis has a great quote, just going, "Well, I hadn't heard anyone ever tell me that before." And obviously, he chose Kentucky. He was National Freshman of the Year. He was National Player of the Year. He was won a national championship, and then was also the most valuable player in the Final Four. And then he was drafted first round by the Pelicans. So speaks volumes. But I use that story all the time because I think that's important as far as when you look at a program. Like, there's no guarantee, and if anyone's promising you anything, playing time, how many minutes you're going to start, it's probably a bunch of bullshit. So try to stay away from things like that because you don't want to be in an environment where you're not going to go earn everything. So that's my Calipari Anthony Davis story.
The good one. I love that. Just nothing is given. Everything must be earned. And I think that is a great lesson. Obviously, Calipari is doing all right. He's a hell of a coach, but there is coaches that promise things and sugarcoat. And I think that's one of the lessons I picked up from Coach Shire this year at Duke. Was one of the things he said is we tell the truth. We're honest with players. And I think that's something you guys are going to get in this program is we're not going to lie to you, and we're not going to overhype or oversell or over try to tell you how good you are. We're not going to underplay that either. But I do think that some programs, some coaches overhype players, and we're going to tell you the truth. And that's not always going to be easy, but I think having those difficult, tough conversations up front can prevent some hurt feelings or disappointment later. So after reading through some of your goals, we're going to have some meetings set up in the next week between now and Seattle. So a week and a half or 2 weeks kind of, where we're going to talk to you guys about your goals. Some of them are great. Some of you guys need to reevaluate your goals with what you're doing every day. Coach Willis knows that quote that if your actions don't line up with your goals, change your goals or change your actions. Simple. If your actions, what you do every day, your behavior, your habits, your beliefs, what you're doing every day, if they're not in alignment and congruent with you getting that goal, then that goal is not a goal. It's a wish. It's a hope. You need to change what you're doing every day, or just be more realistic and say, I just want to be a good high school player, or I just want to make my varsity team next year. Don't say you want to be something and then not do what's necessary to get there. Otherwise, what happens is disappointment, and that's not what we want for you guys. So we're going to have those tough conversations. And that's what John Shire said, that like, how do you handle having 3 freshmen that are that good? 3 of those guys that are freshmen are probably gonna be lottery picks. And, just how do you have those conversations? And there's people saying to other recruits that, hey, you're going to be the star and you're going to be this. And he's saying, hey, like, I got 3 guys that are really good. You're going to be a role guy, things like that. So think about that. What takeaways have you had, Coach Willis? I know the women's championship just came on. UConn just handled South Carolina pretty handedly. Just stomped them. What do you got? What's been your takeaways from the Final Four last night? I know I'm still stinging a little bit as a Duke fan, but give us your takeaways.
My first takeaway is from today. I saw 5 different trips where the ball for UConn went from right to left, and the defense had to go from a help side position to guarding strong side corner, and it gave up 3, which is exactly what we were working in practice last week. So my biggest takeaway has been the need to execute fundamental principles. Even at the highest level of college basketball, we're seeing people struggle to execute the very things and pay attention to details like we were talking about in practice last week. So I just want to encourage everybody to really just get locked in and just know that the things that the coaching staff is telling you are things to help you and that you should apply to your game.
Love that. You have to be able to execute the fundamentals under pressure. If you can't handle the ball or you can't execute the fundamentals in a practice with nobody watching, you can't be expected to raise to the level of being able to do that when the lights are on. Even if you're not playing in the Final Four, maybe that's a high school game next year, right? Maybe that's a high school varsity game next year. You can't expect to all of a sudden rise to the level of that situation. You have to be prepared because you're going to fall, you're going to slip, you're going to drop to the level of your preparation. That's what being clutch is. Being clutch is doing what you do all the time when the lights shine the brightest. That's being clutch. Being clutch, that's a clutch gene. In my opinion, I feel like the people that do it the best are the ones that practice at that high level. And then when the pressure and the lights are shining, maybe they do slip a little bit, but it's still going to be higher than the people that practice halfway. And that's why when you guys are running those drills and you're just bouncing it off your foot or missing chippy layups or things like that, it's like you got to be able to execute in practice all the fundamentals if you expect to be able to do it when the lights are on. And so hopefully you guys have been able to see that you have to execute. And Duke did not. As a Duke guy, the first thing I see is, yeah, Cooper Flag didn't foul over the back. That was bullshit. We all know that wasn't a foul, but they did not execute the fundamentals under pressure. They turned it over. They didn't block out and they get a tip dunk to cut it to 1. They just did those little things. They turn it over on the inbounds, just things you can't do if you want to win. And they hadn't played many close games all year, which, that's part of it. But yeah, just you got to be able to execute. So hopefully if you guys are taking notes, which I am, I wrote execute the fundamentals under pressure. Like that's, and don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into what people are telling you. And that's where we lose kids every year from grit, where I tell them, hey, you work your ass off, you might play NAIA. Well, this coach is saying I'm going Division I, and this program said that they're going to help me get a D2 full ride. You work your ass off, you might play NAIA. Otherwise, you might play at a smaller level, NCCAA or something not where you want to be. But with that, we have an amazing guest with us. I'm excited for you guys to get to meet this guy. He's got the lighting situation worked out. He was supposed to join us Wednesday, but unfortunately had a lighting situation, which is something that I kind of hit me, Ibrahim, that like I was like, man, I take things for granted. And I know these punks, some of these guys, no, we got a lot of good guys, Ibrahim, but these guys take things for granted. Tell us a little bit about why you weren't able to join us on Wednesday night.
Hello, guys. I don't know if you guys can see me.
We can see you. And after you tell me about this, I'm going to give you a proper introduction. I just want them to hear real quick a little bit about the power situation there in Mali. And because I don't think many people on this call ever think about power being like something that might just be go off.
Right. Well, I'm living in Mali right now. Mali is it's a country in West Africa, and I couldn't join the meeting because in the country here we have electricity issue. We don't have a lot of power for the whole country. We have to build infrastructure for that.
So hopefully that hit me when he told me that, because at first I was like, this punk, like, dude, he's gonna. And then when he said no, it was 1:30 in the morning, I think, and he was excited to be on the call, and then the power went down. But
Right.
Ibrahim and I met through a good friend of mine, and Ibrahim he's a professional basketball player. I know some of you guys have aspirations of being a professional. He's from Africa. He came over and played at South Carolina. South Carolina, if you guys don't know about scary coaches, do some research on South Carolina coaches. But played at UCF.
Frank Martin.
Frank Martin's a crazy man, I think. I never played for him. We can tell, you're going to tell, I want to hear a story about Coach Martin. But some of these guys don't know about who Frank Martin is. Coach Willis knows Frank Martin. But then he finished up, Ibrahim, who's on here with us today, finished up with got an MBA from Fullerton. And now he speaks 4 languages. I took some notes on this because I was like, 4 languages? What? I can't even speak one. Like, I hardly speak English very well. And this guy you guys are about to hear from he has 13 siblings. His senior year, he averaged 27, 19, and 4 blocks. 27 points, 19 rebounds, and 4 blocks. He's the president of the Sini Foundation, which provides young athletes and resources, training, and opportunities. He's all about giving back, and that's why he's with us here today and why we've started our partnership with my guy. So Ibrahim, thanks for joining us, man. I really do appreciate you using some of the power to light up that face, because when it's dark, it's tough to see.
Yes. Man, it's good to see you guys. Hello, everyone. My name is Ibrahim. Brent already said everything, I played AAU just like you guys. I was a student athlete. I went to high school in America. I'm originally from Mali, West Africa. So I left Mali when I was 14 years old. I went to America to, pursue my dream, man. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. And, I'm happy because today I am a professional basketball player. And yeah, so I went to America, I went to university. I went to high school in Miami. I won a state championship in high school. Went to University of South Carolina first year. Second year, I went to UCF, University of Central Florida. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Johnny Dawkins. He's a coach there. UCF is doing pretty well too, actually. So yeah, UCF. Then and after that, I got my bachelor there. I went to Cal State Fullerton. That's where I got my MBA from there. With an organization leadership. But I played AAU for I played for 2 years. Because the third year I came back to Mali and played for the national team. But AAU is very, very important, man. It's very, very important. You guys take it, you guys are blessed to have a guy like Brent, that's really giving you guys everything, leadership, all the stuff you guys need to hear right now. When I got in, they were talking about college and all those things. You guys have to be ready. And he's telling you guys the truth about, the reality. And I see not many people talk about that to kids. A lot of people will tell the kids, oh, you will go to, Division 1 school, this, that. But he's telling the truth. Not everyone is making to a Division 1 school. But, you gotta just keep working and keep going to work and keep going hard, because anything is possible. If I can dream in Africa that I can make it to, that I can go to America and make something out of basketball. You guys in America, you guys have all the opportunity. You guys have the platform. You have like the structure. You have the infrastructure. You have everything. Why can't you make it happen? So just listen to the right people and keep it pushing. I know I just said a lot, but
No,
that's what I want to talk to you guys.
you said so much and you said it so well. All the players, we have 20 kids. Ibrahim, we have 20 kids in our program. That's kind of our slogan: 20 players, 4 coaches, 2 teams, 1 program. And all 20 kids I know they have every opportunity. Their parents are making sacrifices to give them opportunity. And some of them do take it for granted a little bit. And I think that your lesson, what you're sharing with them about how, like, you have every reason. You could just make excuses all the time. You could have not done anything and just been like, well, like, I'm from Africa. What do you expect? But you have an MBA. You have, like I said, you speak 4 languages. You're a pro. And now not only are you a professional, now you're giving back and helping other young players get opportunities to play by networking, by meeting coaches. I don't know, Coach Willis and Coach Lunt, who are on the call, are college coaches.
Exactly.
So you never know when one of those guys is going to know somebody. But now you're giving back and you're still young. Like, sometimes people have to get old to have the lessons and realize what you've learned at a young age.
Right.
And so I appreciate you joining and sharing a little bit of that with these guys, because I can say it, but I'm not a pro. I've never got a paycheck to play basketball. So to have somebody that played, if you guys don't know Johnny Dawkins, he went to Duke. He sat by Coach K,
Right.
coached at Stanford. Do some research. Look up Johnny Dawkins.
He's the reason. He's the reason why Duke is Duke.
Talk about it. He went there and changed the whole program when Johnny Dawkins got there. The whole program. I mean, not all the
right.
It wouldn't have been Duke without Johnny Dawkins. And now he's at UCF. And then Frank Martin. If you don't know Frank Martin, Google Frank Martin pissed off. You don't have to Google Frank Martin pissed off. Just Google Frank Martin and you'll see pissed off.
So this is the thing. Frank is one of those coaches where you really, you have to know, you gotta play with, for somebody like Frank to go to college to play for Frank, because it's not an easy guy, really. You just gotta, Frank just different. He will coach you as hard as he could possibly get. He is a very, very hard coach, and his program is all about toughness, defense, and that's all it's about. And he's like, trying to help you to be a great human being. It's not just about basketball. And that's the reason why I went there. Even though I transferred the second year, my goal was I wanted to be around that guy, That's why I went there. So, I know, I stayed in college for 6 years. So any question that you guys might have, I can respond to everything, because really that's what I'm doing also in Africa here. I'm scouting, recruiting. I'm helping kids, get opportunities. And that's why also, me and Brent got in contact because, I have a nonprofit where I'm helping kids. If you guys, when I was in college finishing my master, I was able to start the nonprofit, and it's probably 3 years from now. I was able to bring about 5,000 shoes to Africa, helping kids. Because the thing is, this is another story I can tell you guys. Here, I know you guys probably played against some African player. It's athleticism high and all those things, but there are so many players in Africa here where their career can't go far. You know why? Just because they couldn't afford to pay shoes. The basketball shoes. I had many friends, that literally stopped playing basketball because their parents couldn't afford to pay them shoes. You know, so then I realized, I need to, do something with like, shoes, help kids get, because shoes, you can change the community. So that's why I've been, focused on shoes.
You went a little bit like you were talking underwater there, but I think we got the message that the shoes can help like change the trajectory of
Life.
the player's life. Having a new pair of
Yes,
shoes help
exactly.
them continue playing basketball that could then ultimately get them either a scholarship or an opportunity to come to the US, or even if they don't come to the US, at least pursue basketball at a higher level in Africa, right?
Exactly, like my case, basketball is able to change not just my life, not just my family life, my community, but now my country and now my continent, because I'm helping everybody in Africa here. It's not just, and now I want you guys to join me so we can all have a global impact. Really, that's that's the thing.
And you said something really, you said not only are you helping your family, you're helping your community, your state, your country, and your
The
continent.
continent, exactly.
Think about that, fellas. Think about who we are getting the opportunity to meet today and what this could mean for you. Maybe you meet somebody and you become fast friends with one of the players that Ibrahim coaches. Maybe you
Right,
meet one of his players off social media and you guys just vibe and you have like so much
right,
in common and you never knew.
right.
Basketball brings people together, right?
It does, it does, it does. So I
Just like
want to tell
us.
them. I have one thing that I want to tell them. Okay. So
Share, please
here
do.
this guy, here this guy. I know you guys play. You guys. Do you guys know who Mobamba is?
Tyler knows who Mo Bamba is. Jack knows who he is. Aiden's saying he knows, but he doesn't know.
So,
Um,
so me and Mobamba met each other through AAU. So we played AAU together when we were both 15. I told Mo, I said, Mo, the day one of us make it to the NBA or we both make it to the NBA professionally somehow, I'll be able to, I'm gonna find a way to bring you to Africa so you can see what is happening in Africa. And 2 years ago, I brought Mo to Abidjan. He came to Ivory Coast with me, and Mo, we came and gave our shoe to the kid. Mo built a basketball court, and now he's talking about Africa every day.
I
So
love it.
you guys see how basket that happened through basketball, through AAU. So the connection that you guys are making right now, think about it. This is gonna be a lifetime, like a lifetime connection between you guys. You guys will be able to call each other around in life, as life goes on, and helping each other, asking each other, and helping each other, with different things. So, take this moment and really, really build a strong bond. You know, it's you guys against the world. That's what I want to say, really. You know.
I love that. I love so much about what you said, and I think that's super cool. These guys know who Mo Bamba is. I mean, he plays in the NBA. So, is he born in America, or did he live in America
Yes.
for age, or
Mobama was born in America. Mobama was born in America, but his parents were from West Africa. But he never been to West Africa.
he had never been? Yeah.
Never been, never been. So that's the thing. These guys, maybe I'll be able to bring some of them to Africa. come, come do the camps with me. Come do the, nothing is impossible. We can make it happen.
There's a lot of opportunity, and I think that's what makes me so excited. That's my favorite part of basketball is the relationships that it's brought into my life. Guys like this, that's doing what he's doing, and he's young, guys. Like you guys know, I'm like not as young as this guy, but he started a foundation and a nonprofit, and he's changing like literally, not like people that just blow smoke and say bullshit about like, oh, I'm changing lives, I'm changing the world. This guy's literally doing it, and we're gonna help him do it. And we're gonna be a part of this like shoe drive. So we're gonna collect shoes. I know Aiden got 3 points back after he's missed a few points, but he did get 3 points back because he donated some shoes. I know I got a pair or two from a few other guys on the call, but we're gonna collect. My goal is 50. I want to get 50 pair this year, and I'm gonna send them. We're gonna get them boxed up, get them to, I think he said Miami or San Francisco or LA or somewhere. Then ship them down there, and then see them on Instagram, on pictures, on feet of kids that we have never met, but we're helping them. Like that just is awesome to me. That just gets me fired up just thinking about how we can make an impact.
I want them, if they want, they could maybe like write their names on the shoes or like something so that when the kid take the shoes, like, we take pictures, they can see their name. And then, like I said, we have to find a way to make connection with whoever will receive the shoes, because I think it's going to create a good connection. Because what I do here, I try to host the events and stuff like that. I collect, I find ways to get the best kids, the ones that are really, really good. So maybe I can donate your shoes to the ones that are really, really good. And those guys gonna have a chance to be, to have a chance to go to America. So you might meet each other. Who knows? It's
You never know.
for you guys
And
to give.
that's why, and I think that's a cool idea, Aiden. And I haven't shipped any shoes yet. So if you wanted to drop a card in there, or we're working on I'm trying to figure out how we could like make it like an NFT to where then like so there's certain stuff we're working on, but as of now, if you guys just wanted to put like your Instagram handle even, because the Sini Foundation has an Instagram, and that's an easy way that you can then connect and then exchange telegrams or social media stuff. But I think this is an awesome opportunity, and I appreciate you taking the time and the electricity. Like that's kind of a joke, and all of us are kind of like smiling, but really, like seriously, the fact that like we don't think about that. Like I can't remember the last time my phone has been like when I get low on energy or like battery power, I'm always kind of like, oh shit, like where's a charger? Like, and this guy's like, look at this place, look at this lights, a few lights up there, but overall, yeah. So there's a hoop. Is that a hoop right there behind you? That's what we've had in the background, right?
Yes, sir. The hoop, man. I have
That's
basketball
it.
all the way here. I train my siblings here.
And you have
they'll
how
be able
many
to
brothers
see.
and sisters from the same mom?
No, from the same dad. My father has. So this
Your
is the thing.
father has. Okay.
Right now, look, you guys can see these are right now. I know this is not happening in America, but right here, these are my mom right here sitting. This is, my second mom, my real mom right here. But, I call all of them my mom.
You
My
look
father,
after them all.
yeah,
Okay.
my father has 3
Father has 3
wives.
moms. What did you say, moms?
3 wives.
3 wives, and so
So I have right now, when I have 13 siblings.
between 3 moms, same dad, 13 siblings.
Yes.
Wow. That I have 2 kids. John has 3, and I think he's a hero. And then Coach Lunt comes in with 4. And then you step up to the plate and you're like, I got 13. I got siblings on top of siblings. My son is the only one. He's got 1 sister. And I'm like, okay, some of you guys have met my daughter and son. That you got to keep your eyes on them. They'll be running out on the floor. They'll be diving out there. They did break up a fast break. My daughter ran on the court and they like ran into her. And everyone's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, I told her to do it. No, I'm just joking. I didn't push my daughter with special needs onto the floor to break up a fast break. I turned my back for a split second. She was gone. but it stopped the fast break. They had to take it out on the side. We got to set our defense. It worked out. She's a team player, that daughter of mine. But let's open it up. I'm gonna open it up. If you guys, Coach Willis or any of the players, if any of you guys want to introduce yourself or say anything or ask a question, why we still have my guy with us. If anybody wants to, feel free to unmute, introduce yourself. And did we lose him? All the way from Africa. We got pretty good reception there. Maybe his phone didn't make it, or maybe service cut out. We'll see if he's able to join us back. But I hope you guys heard what he's saying about just like the opportunities that you guys have. For him to have like speak 4 languages and have a master's degree, like he could have easily said, "Oh, well, I don't speak English," or "I don't do that," and he didn't make excuses. He just made it happen. And played for Frank Martin and Johnny Dawkins, and then got his master's degree from Fullerton down in Southern California. And that's just awesome for me to see. And sometimes I know for people here, we coast or cut corners or don't really. I got a B. If you can get an A, get an A. Don't get B's. Like, I think most of the guys on this team should be getting A's. If the best you could do is a B, I'm not mad at you, but I think all of you guys are smart enough that you should be getting A's. If you applied yourself, if you buy into what the teachers are talking about, if you sit in the front row, if you ask questions, if you're not doing Pokemon Go during class. I don't know if anybody plays Pokemon Go during class, but you better not. You can't have those fingerboards. Remember those skateboard things kids used to dick around with like during class? Don't do that. Don't play. It's okay if you have like a fingerboard addiction and you need to play skateboard with your fingers, and that's something that you do for a hobby. Like, I'm not, that's whatever. But don't do it during class. And Rue's like, "Oh crap, I can't believe he's calling me out because I'm addicted to fingerboarding. I just have to skateboard all the time. I just have to do it." I'm joking, Rue. I was making sure you were paying attention, but now you're frozen. I hope you're frozen and that silly look's not just permanent. All right, we're gonna see if Ibrahim's able to join us back, but we're gonna get you guys all connected with social media. Hopefully, you guys can bring some more shoes. The ones Aiden gave, those were all in good shape, man. So don't worry. I know you thought maybe the LeBrons were a little too worn, but no worries. Those are good. They'll be appreciative of those. We're going to get them all collected by May 2nd. May 2nd. So about 3 weeks. We'll collect them. We'll box them up. We'll get them sent to where they ship them from there overseas. And we'll get them down there to Mali in South Africa. So hopefully everything's all right. I'm sure. Let me check to see if you messaged me or anything. Probably just power or something. Electricity maybe. I don't know. But I'm gonna make sure I connect with them. But hopefully you guys took something away from that. If you don't know who Mo Bamba is, do some research on Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba, I saw him play at the PK80 for Texas. He played it for Texas during the PK80. But okay, there, we're back.
Sorry, man. My internet went off. Sorry.
No worries at all, man. We appreciate you hopping back in.
Of course.
Does anybody have any questions or anything that you guys want to say? Why now that Ibrahim's back on the get his name
Talk
changed
to me,
back there.
guys.
Talk to him. Somebody unmute,
Talk to
introduce
him.
yourself.
Yeah.
Hi, Abraham. My name's Jack.
What up, Jack?
What's up? Can we like buy like just new shoes if we don't have any like slightly worn? Can we just like donate new shoes?
Yes, you can do that as well. So what you can do, because we have a site. So can you hear me? We have a site. So you can
Okay.
donate on that on the site and we can do it for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And that's not a bad idea because I'm sure that with we can buy in a few more. You can get like, we can get them at a better rate maybe and get them in. I don't know if they're more in Africa, but if you're getting them there, then we're not having to ship them. I don't know. But on the
No, no, no.
website, is that on your website, Ibrahim?
Yes, it's yeah. That's on the website.
Got it. I'll make sure that we all get that. Good question, Jack.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
for
just have
stepping
to
up.
tell me. You just gotta send. You gotta tell me because I see everything on the website. I have everything monitored. So just let me know and put it out there, and I will just do it. I will buy for you, and put your name on it, and we can get it done however you want to.
Awesome. Thanks, Ibrahim.
Guys,
Anybody else? Caleb Long.
You can ask me. You can ask me anything, man. I told ya, the road you guys about to take. I was on that road, so anything you guys want to ask.
Who's got something? Somebody. Caleb Long, I'm gonna call on you.
I'm Caleb, and I was just wondering, like, are there like certain sizes that you're looking for as of like right now, or do you kind of just need anything and everything?
Anything, anything, anything. Another thing, I played with Taco. Kids love Taco. I can tell them this too. You guys know Taco File? You guys gotta follow me on
Huge.
Instagram. Y'all can see. My Instagram is at Famuke. Taco and I play together.
He's a big guy. Well, you're what? You're 6'10"?
No, I'm 6'7", 6'8".
6'7", maybe 6'8". Okay.
Yeah, but Taco is 7'6".
He's he's different. Coach Willis, you got anything you want to say? Coach Lunt, anybody else before we let the man conserve his power and electricity? What's up, Coach
Talk to
Willis?
me. Talk to me,
Uh,
guys. Talk to me.
Ibrahim,
Maybe I might be bored.
Ibrahim, great meeting you. I'm Coach
Nice
Willis.
meeting you.
What time of year do you normally have camps, things like that you host for the players there in West Africa?
So, we do it like all around the year, because I have some people here in each country, where they help me, host like the showcases and different things like that.
Okay.
What about Ivory Coast? What's the best if we were to plan a trip to the Ivory Coast?
Ivory Coast.
What time
Ivory
of
Coast.
year would we want to go? What time of year? What's the best time in Ivory Coast?
So, I would say like right now. Maybe
It
like
would be a year
in
from
the
now.
summer,
It would definitely not be
little
2
bit in the
weeks.
summer, little bit in the summer, like after the school probably, like on the summer.
You do anything in
Like,
Ghana?
Ghana, I haven't done anything in Ghana yet, but Ivory Coast is right next to Ghana.
Right.
I'm going to Gambia. That's another English speaking country. We'll have an event there in a couple of weeks. Gambia, then Senegal, because I have a friend that has an academy in Senegal. It's called Seed Academy. Have you heard?
I haven't, but I have heard of those countries. So,
Well, NBA has an academy there
okay.
who does?
in Senegal. NBA Academy is in Senegal.
Oh, NBA Academy Senegal, yeah.
Exactly. Well,
What
has
other
anybody been to
countries?
Africa here?
What other countries are, I mean, Sudan, South Sudan has a lot of hoopers, right?
So this is the thing. South Sudan has a lot of hooper because you find the height there. They tall. They tall. But really, there are a lot of hoopers in Senegal. In Mali, Nigeria, because Nigeria has a population of 200 million people. So
I didn't know
you
Nigeria was that many people. Wow.
yes. Nigeria alone is 200 some million people. Congo has a lot of hoopers.
Congo. Okay.
That's where I have a. You guys know who Jonathan Kuminga is? So he's also a little brother to me because he's the older brother. We brought Jonathan Kuminga to America.
Where was his older brother? Was he in Florida?
Joel, he went to Virginia. He went to Texas Tech. He also went to Las Vegas. But we played against each other on the national teams.
I'm sure these guys are going to think of questions and regret not speaking up now. I'm glad that you're just a text away because I'm going to be picking your brain and asking you all sorts of questions in the next couple months, next couple years, the rest of our life as friends, because the way you grew up was a lot different than the way I grew up. And I want to learn as much as I can from you. But we do have a couple more questions. Let's go to Tyler. Tyler, go ahead, introduce yourself and say hello.
Hi, I'm Tyler. Nice to meet you.
What up, Tyler?
I just wanted to ask what your experience was like. Like you started high school in America, right? Like how was it
Yes.
grading into like high school and sports and everything?
Well, I like I said, Africa is different from America. So, when I went there, I spoke no English. All I knew was like I used to tell the coach, "Hey, coach, me hungry," or I used to tell him, "Coach, gym, gym, gym." That's all I knew. Really hungry, gym, and really it was different. I didn't have a family. I was 14 years old without my family around me. So it's just be in a different environment, see how things are different from Africa. It's not easy, but also it excites you because you there for a reason. You're there to accomplish something. I felt like I was on a mission, to get a good education and be a really really good basketball player. So really that kept me going. And really, I had good friends that I played AAU with and that I went to school with. They were really nice. They made it easier for me. So I felt like I was home. I had the right support. I had my people around me. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I just wanted to see like how you found like community and how
Yeah,
like you made your way through high school and everything.
Americans, you guys are very welcoming. So and I always was true to myself. I never changed. I was always the same guys, and people appreciate that. I didn't come to America and then just forgot about who I was. I never done that. And people always appreciate that about me, so that helped.
Yeah.
Love it. Great.
Yeah,
Good question, Tyler. We're going to go
yeah.
Zach. Zach, what do you got? Zach.
Hey, what's up, Abraham? I'm Zach. I'm a
What up,
freshman
Zach?
in high school. I'm just wondering, what's it like playing professional ball in Africa? What's life like?
So I'm gonna tell you how I started. I started playing professional in Europe last year. I played in Belgium. It was really, really, really cold there. Really, really cold. Because I lived in Miami. So Miami, the weather is very,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
sunny. Then I went to Belgium. I was in a city called Liège. The team name is RSW Liège. It was really, really cold. The weather was, it just I had to adapt to that. But basketball was really good because this is the thing. When I played in college, I was the guy I'm very, very athletic. You guys can probably Google or YouTube that later on. I was athletic, so I would just jump and block everything. But then, and when I started playing professional, I started using my brain a little more, because I realized, I gotta get my IQ right and know where to be on the court, offensively and defensively. So, I felt like playing professional helped me more understanding the game, understanding that okay, I'm not just here to just like you're playing, you're having fun, but it's structured. Everything you're doing has to have a purpose in it. Because the whole purpose is really about winning. So you have a role, and you have to figure out how to win, and you have to play your role well. And you guys gonna, I don't know where you guys gonna go play, but you guys will have that. Everybody's gonna have a role in your team. Just be the best at your role. College coaches, scouts, professional guys, they see that, they know basketball. So yeah. And in Africa, it's the same thing for me.
Be
Oh,
the best in
awesome.
your role, Zach. That's what he just said. He said, be the best in
Yeah.
your role, right? Not everybody has the same role. We're going to do what we can as coaches to help define your role, your role, your role, but then just do the best you can in that role. And
Right.
everybody's role is a bit different. And it's tough if you're not the one that's being asked to shoot the ball as much as the others. But everybody has a role. And if you go do your role really well, I know we celebrate those guys because we want everybody, everybody has a different role, and to be a team, not everybody can be the one that scores 25 a night. So some of you will be asked to set screens and rebound and play hard on defense and do all those things. Get 6 points and 9 rebounds and take 2 charges, and we'll be happy. You know, you don't have to go out and do stuff outside of what you do. And that's what we're going to do as coaches, is as we get to know you better, watch you more, help define those roles so you can know your role, accept your role, and then excel at your role. Those 3 things: know it, accept it, excel at it, and it'll grow. But if you don't accept it, it will shrink.
Winning is what matter. You know, I know you guys were talking about Dukes. I played against Duke, you know, when Zion was there. I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys were probably young, you know, me, Taco, we played against Duke. And I think it was, well, you know, it was at the March Madness. And we lost the game. I don't remember right now who had the most points. We lost, you know, so, you know, winning matter, you know.
Winning is important. Winning is not the only thing. It is a bright. I think you worry about the inputs, and then the outputs will happen, right? You worry about what you put in, daily habits. And then if you lose, like, you can't really feel as bad about it. But if you cut corners, if you shortcut your preparation, then if you lose, then you have regrets. So
Right.
I appreciate you coming, and we're going to be in touch. I'm going to get everybody, I'm going to put a post up, and I'm going to tag you. I'm going to tag your foundation and make sure that
Right.
all these guys that have Instagram are able to get in and follow you, so that way they can, if they have questions, or when the shoes start rolling in, and if your players want to add our players. I'm excited
Right.
about this opportunity to build new relationships, and for
Okay.
our players to learn a little bit of humility and make some new friends. Basketball is a unifier. I have friends of all races and religions, and basketball's brought those people into my life. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm glad that Athanasia, Nancy, as she's known in the United States, was able to bring us together. And we're fast friends and hit it off from the start, Ibrahim. So I appreciate you joining my guys today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me here. And, you know, Coach is going to give you, you know, my social media. I know you guys are all in the social media. Let's stay in touch. Anything you need, you know, let me know. I'm here for you guys. Okay.
Appreciate you, Ibrahim. You have a great one. We're going to wrap up here in a couple minutes. You're welcome to hang out, or if you got a dip, but we're going to finish. We have Zion Williamson was the last freshman before Cooper Flagg to win National Player of the Year. Then it was Anthony Davis. We have not mentioned the 4th and the only other freshman in the history of college basketball to be named Naismith Player of the Year. Who knows who the 4th player is? Aiden.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Aiden got it. Either Everett's in the background or Aiden knew a little bit more than I thought.
My nickname.
It's what, Aiden?
Yeah.
I didn't get the defense that he said, but maybe he did know it was KD from Texas. But I hear Cooper Flagg's coming back to. I heard Cooper Flagg's. No, I'm joking. I'm making up that. That's erroneous, but that would be pretty cool. So, Aiden, you got a point back. Now you're only at -7. Still in the cellar, still in the basement, but you climbed up. Now, next question.
Wait, did I get points for the shoes?
You did. That's what brought you up to -8. You were at -11. Keep showing up. You're here now. You're here now, though. So be engaged and see if you can get this one. Okay. Next question. Got to be quick with the mute. Who won the 2024 NCAA Women's March Madness?
South Carolina.
Tyler Lakeums. That is the correct answer. Put you at 9 now. Caleb was close, but not first. Okay. What city in the United States has the most Division I basketball teams in it? What city? What city in the city proper?
LA.
Good. That's
LA
a
is a
good
great
question.
guess, but it is not LA because Fullerton is in Fullerton. You got, so these are all in the city, 5 D1s in the same city. That's a great guess though, but that's not the answer.
Wow. That's
It's a
ooh,
tough one.
yeah.
Anybody know? Anybody got a guess? You know
Chicago.
what I think of when what was it?
Chicago.
Not Chicago. Nope. Good guess though, Tyler.
Hmm.
I'll tell you who I think of when I think of this
Uh,
city.
it's not New York.
It's not New York. Nope.
Wow.
I'll
Okay.
tell you, I think of, well, looking at the schools. Here, I'll give you one of the five. One of the five. LaSalle University.
Okay, I
Second.
got it.
Okay, Abraham knows. Don't say it.
Okay.
Okay. The second. Philadelphia, Rue Olson. Philadelphia is the answer. Philly has University of Penn, LaSalle, St. Joe's, Temple, and who knows the last one? Who knows the last one?
I know. It's not. I'll let you guys do it though.
Who knows it? Who knows the last one in Philly?
Penn State.
Nope, not Penn State. That's a good guess. Think about they've won national championships fairly recently. Their mascot is a wildcat. What, Tyler?
Villanova.
Villanova is the correct answer. Villanova is the correct answer. I'm updating the scores. That pushes Tyler to 10 and 2 up now on Lane and tied with Jack at 10. Vince, who's not here and not scoring points right now because he's at a family outing. So Vince is probably watching us on replay like, gosh, I knew that. I knew that. I could have got that. Prior to Zach Edey, who was the last back-to-back national player of the year in men's basketball? I think we asked this one because the most recent last back-to-back NPOY was Zach from Purdue. But before that, it was, anybody remember? I think we mentioned his name briefly. How about I'll give you the school? Virginia.
Ty
I'll
Jerome.
give you another hint. His last name is very similar to one of the coaches that will be coaching in the Final Four national championship game tomorrow.
Ralph Sampson.
Tyler is so smart. Tyler Lakem coming in clutch. That's impressive, Tyler. It took a few hints, but we'll give it to you. We're definitely going to give you those points because that is Ralph Sampson. Some of you guys have never heard of Ralph Sampson, and he was able to pull that one out. Pretty good job, Tyler. Okay, here we go. The last time Duke didn't have a first team all ACC player was what year? When was the last time Duke didn't have a first team all ACC player? We can take guesses. You don't have everybody can have one guess maybe. Shout out a year and we'll take the closest. So everybody can unmute and take their guess, or you can drop it in the chat, however we want to do it. We're almost done. Straight up 4 o'clock right now. Giving away these points. Anybody want to guess, or are we just gonna go no points?
Is it the year after Zion? It's like 2019.
It's not.
2020.
It's
Oh.
no. We had the Duke Blue Devils had one that year. I'm not sure who it was the year after Zion, but they did have one.
Have they always had one?
Rue said 1882. That is too early. They have had 1 year since then. 1982. We're still not, there has been one more recent than that.
2012.
2012 is a good guess, but not right. Rue said 2001, which is not a good guess because that's the year they won the national championship with Jay Williams. National Player of the Year, National Defensive Player of the Year, 2003. Rue's just firing them out there, and I'll just keep throwing. Nope. It was earlier than that. I'll give you a hint. First one to get it in the chat, that's right. I'm telling you, it's earlier than that.
1995.
It was 92. Christian Leitner. Rue, get out of here. No, you can't guess 92. You can't guess 92 and think that I'm gonna let you keep throwing random numbers of years. It was 95, 96. Jeff Capel was their highest, and he was on second team all ACC. So since 1996, Jeff Capel, that was the last time Duke didn't have a first team all ACC performer. Okay, so I think Tyler Lakin did you say 95? It's 95, 96. I don't know. We're not going to do half points. Okay, last one. What draft pick was Damian Lillard?
6th.
I think Jack and Tyler tied on that one. We'll give you both a point. That puts Jack to 11. Tyler tied up with Vince at 12. Okay, we'll do one more because that was a tie. We already talked about Nolan Richardson and his 40 minutes of hell. We've already talked about Oregon Ducks being the first NCAA Division I national champions. Their nickname was the Tall Furs. If you didn't know, now you know. The team that's had the most tournament appearances without making a Final Four, Brigham Young University. Okay. How many games in the NCAA tournament did Christian Leitner play? How many games did Christian Leitner play in March Madness? Rue guesses 6 because he's trying to piss me off because he knows it's way more than that. He's just being a troll right now, just throwing out 6? 6? He won 6 his freshman year. Come on, Rue. Kaysen?
20.
That's a way better guess than 6, Kaysen, but it's still not enough.
Was it 24?
23. 23. He played in, so if you think about how many you get a year, 6 times 4, they lost in the Final Four 1 year, the national championship 1 year, and won 2 national championships. But 24 would have been what, Tyler? Playing in the Natty all 4 years, right? But there was 1 year. So 20 was a good guess by, who was it who guessed that? Was it Kaysen? But okay. This is fun for me because I get to teach you guys, educate you, teach you some knowledge. The highest scoring combined game in tournament history happened in what year? Take the two teams and you add their scores together. What year was that? That's the highest total ever. Bonus points if you can tell me what teams it was. This is stuff that you should know if you've ever done much research. Rue's just blowing up the chats with pretty mediocre answers
Was
that
it
are
this
inaccurate.
year?
It was not this year. There was most threes made in a game went down this year, and that was Alabama making 25. But the team that they beat was this team in this game that we're discussing right now.
Was it a Jimmer Fredette year?
That is a good guess, but that is not accurate. Nope. I'll tell you a hint, Tyler Lakem or Tyler Eddy, whoever wants this hint. One of the teams plays in the WCC. That should be a giveaway for you guys.
Gonzaga and BYU.
Nope, not Gonzaga. Gonzaga and BYU did play in the WCC back a while, but there's one team that played. The other team,
Was it St. Mary's?
not St. Mary's either. This will be educational for all of you guys then. 1990. Loyola Marymount, Jeff Fryer, and a guy named Bo Kimball. If you guys don't know who Hank Gathers is, I implore you to write that name down and do some research. Hank Gathers is probably the greatest player to ever play that you guys don't know who that is if you don't know who that is. His senior year, he was leading the country in rebounds and points. D1, like the whole country, he was leading them. He was averaging like something ridiculous, like 30 some, and played for Loyola Marymount. The guru of Go. If you've never seen that 30 for 30, download it, or however you guys watch 30 for 30s and watch the guru of Go. Loyola Marymount, Jeff Fryer made 11 threes that game. In the WCC tournament, just prior to the March Madness, in the conference tournament, LMU was playing University of Portland. University of Portland was getting beat. LMU had the leading scorer and rebounder in the country. They're averaging 124 points a game that year. What? Yeah. 124 points a game Loyola Marymount was scoring, and their leading scorer that was leading the nation in points and rebounds collapsed on the floor and died. The March Madness starts, and their team, Loyola Marymount, makes the tournament, and they go on this magical run to the Elite Eight, led by Bo Kimball and Jeff Fryer. Jeff Fryer, I met when I was about your age, Zach Miller. I was a freshman, just finished my freshman year of high school. I went to a Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp in Santa Barbara, California, and my huddle leader was a guy named Jeff Fryer. And Jeff Fryer is the guy that, and this was 2000. The year was 2000, so this was 9 years after. So he was probably early 30s coaching, and some of the guys were making fun, like, because he's just kind of a quiet, humble white guy, and they're kind of like, "You used to play, coach?" I was with a bunch of guys from LA that were out there, and he's like, kind of humble and quiet, and I knew that Jeff Fryer was a baller, and he got in the gym and just started stroking. Just he could shoot it. I mean, he'd stand up at the top and make 24, 25 in a row. But Jeff Fryer and Bo Kimball came out from Philadelphia. Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball were both from Philly, played at USC, transferred to Loyola Marymount, had a really good team, averaged 124. And then Hank Gathers had some heart issues and collapsed. And the trainer that was my trainer in college was the first guy to get to him, and they couldn't revive him, and he passed away. And then his team went on a magical run to the Elite Eight. And I think it was UNLV that beat them. I don't know if Willis or is that right, Coach Lunt? It was UNLV that beat them. But the guru of Go, Paul Westhead, not Westfall, was the coach of that team that had Bo Kimball, Hank Gathers, Jeff Fryer. And they had a magical run, and those guys were on the Arsenio Hall show, and they were just living it. You guys don't know who Arsenio Hall is, do you? No, nobody. Anybody know Arsenio Hall? Coach Lunt's just saying these guys are so young. How can you not? No, still nobody even remembers that. Okay, Arsenio Hall, talk show host in the 90s. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys all being here live. If you're watching this on replay, hit me back and let me know what you liked about the call today. Coach Lunt, Coach Willis, any parting shots, anything you want to leave us with today, Coach?
Yes. Just talking about the Final Four game yesterday, because I think they're obviously, you talked about Duke's downfall and the lack of fundamentals, but I also think there's a lot of things that you can learn from the Houston team, which epitomizes grit. When you're down 6 with 30 seconds to go and you have a 4% chance of winning a game, there's a lot of times you can give in and give up. And I think that Houston is the perfect example of not giving in or giving up, and going and making plays. So I know a lot talks about Duke and, you know, the foul call and some of their turnovers and mistakes, but the other side of the ball, they created those things. So you know, as far as pressuring the ball. And if you go back and you watch the last 10 minutes of that game defensively, it's probably the greatest segment of defense I've seen in a long, long, long time. So it wasn't just one in that last, you know, 30 seconds. I mean, they put it on Duke defensively. And so I just think that there's a lot of things you can learn. It's about resiliency. You know, we talked about grit, gratitude, resiliency, intensity, togetherness. Like I think all of those things, came full circle with that win last night. So I was shocked to see it happen, but then you also just go back and you watch that game and just watch how you never saw body language wise, you never saw defeat. You never saw anything out of Houston, especially when they were down that much. They just kept plugging away. And then you also saw it from their leader, who's one of the best in the business, Kelvin Sampson. He coached his rear end off. And even when they were down, you know, and it was looking like there was no chance they could win, he kept on coaching and kept on believing. So I think there's a lot of valuable things you can learn, on both sides of the ball. And I know Coach Willis and Coach Miner talked about Duke's, fundamental and all that stuff, but the resiliency piece out of Houston was remarkable. Other person, I want you guys, I know Coach brought up Hank Gathers, but there's another person that we never got to see play, who would have been a hell of a player too, and his name was Len Bias. So I would go back and research who he was, because he was remarkable, and very unfortunate that we never got to see him play for the Boston Celtics, but could have been one of the all-time greats. So that's all I got.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Len Bias, Maryland. Do some research, fellas. Part of this is to help you guys become a little bit more basketball knowledgeable, just because you want to know the game and what's come before and the history of it, because it can help you guys for sure down the road. But that's all I got. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm going to get this loaded back up. I'm going to check the guys. I did tell your parents next weekend we're going to practice Friday night, and then Saturday morning we'll drive to Seattle. Most of us, some of you are driving Friday night after practice to Seattle, but we will practice Friday this week. And this week, I believe, is at, does anybody have that handy? I think this week.
Aren't we in Portland this week?
I think this week's at UP, if I'm not mistaken, because there is.
We're in Portland this week.
We're at UP. Yep, we're at UP this week, in the Beauchamp Center, which will be fun. So my old stomping grounds, except for that facility, wasn't built when I was there. They had this place called Howard Hall. The old Howard Hall. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. They filmed a Michael Jordan commercial there back in the 90s. So Howard Hall, no longer there anymore though. But the new facility is phenomenal. So it's awesome that we're going to be able to use that to practice this week. And the following week, we'll be back at Pacific. And then we'll play Saturday and Sunday in Seattle. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, reach out to a teammate. Hopefully you guys all got the mental training into it. I know I've helped a few of you guys that had some questions. So if you're not seeing the email, if it's not in your parents' email, if you've checked your spam, it's okay to send me a message and I'll see what I can do to help you get in there. Doesn't take long. Who's done it? Who's done it all? So it doesn't take too long, right? It's like probably 15 minutes top to bottom, even if you did like fairly short answers or fairly decent answers. But all right, guys, Coach Willis is not feeling 100, so we're not gonna make him get back on, but appreciate you guys being here. It's always good to see you, and I'm excited about this project we have helping get some shoes down to Africa. So make sure you guys are getting a little cardio in. We'll meet again Wednesday. We'll meet again Wednesday night, but make sure you guys are getting a little running in, do some sprinting. We don't want everybody puking on Friday night, so make sure you're getting a little cardio in this week. All right, fellas. Catch you guys next time.